For a lot of my clients, they get past the point of being in acute pain and they need to start working on spinal and whole body strength. And for that, I usually recommend weight training. Now, the most common complaint and excuse that I hear from my client is, oh, I don't have enough time, I can't get around to it, I don't have the right equipment. And I will tell you that all of that is BS. If you want to get some strength training in, some weight training in, there is a way even with what you have at home. So of course, having a dumbbell is handy, but you can also use a bottle of water or a bottle of wine or olive oil. I promise you, you will get more out of using a bottle of wine as a weight than you will from drinking it. So to get started, I'm going to show you 3 very simple exercises for your posterior chain, so the back side of your body, in order to help your posture. Because one of the biggest things that I see that is keeping people from looking and feeling and functioning their best is when they have hunched forward posture. What's the easiest way to combat this after getting adjusted? Work on strengthening the muscles of your back to hold your shoulders and your head in proper alignment. So the 3 exercises we're going to go through today are a row and a fly and a tricep extension. So even if you don't have a bench, there is still a safe way of doing this as long as you have 2 chairs. So oftentimes when we're in the gym, we would use a bench to do this, and in lieu of that, you can just bring 2 chairs somewhat close together so that you can put a knee on one of your chairs and a hand on the other. Voila, you have a bench. So grab your weight. It doesn't have to be super heavy. Again, you can use a bottle to do this instead, especially in the beginning. When you're first getting started, you want to make sure that you're starting with light weight so that you are easing into it. Place one hand on the chair in front. You want your hand to be directly below your shoulder there, so try not to reach too far or let everything cramp in. You want to maintain a nice strong line there, and then in back, you want your knee directly below your hip. You want to be able to keep your torso in a straight line, so basically your torso is a rectangle that's parallel with the ground beneath you. And keep your knees about hip distance apart, toes pointed straight forward. And remember, before you start any sort of movement in this position, you want to lock in with your posture. So a little bit of a squeeze through your abs. As I tell all of my clients when they're doing posture, you want to think about your ribs in front reaching towards your hips underneath you. Gentle little squeeze as if somebody's about to punch you in the gut. That's going to help you maintain a nice strong brace around your entire front and back of your core. And then from here, looking straight down towards the ground, remembering to retract your head just a little bit so that you don't end up falling forward like this. Remember, you want to maintain that nice strong posture from your tailbone all the way through the top of your head. And you can bring your working arm down towards the ground, and then gentle squeeze, bringing the weight up towards your rib cage next to you, elbow in nice and tight, and then extend. Now, you want to kind of work towards being able to get good range of motion where you're dropping your shoulder all the way down towards the ground and then really squeezing the shoulder blade back behind you. But to begin with, if you can't get that full range of motion, as you bring your shoulder blade out, drop your shoulder, and then squeeze your shoulder blade back towards your spine. Not a big deal. Just keep your shoulders parallel to the ground and then row your elbow up next to your rib cage. You want to bring the weight basically to the bottom of your rib cage and above your pelvis so that you're maintaining that nice neutral position, not trying to get fancy with the range of motion. And you want it to be easy in your stabilizing elbow. Cool. So once you've done about 8 reps of that, then you can move around, switch to the opposite side. Again, hand directly below your shoulder, knee directly below your hip. Maintain that neutral posture, shoulders parallel to the ground, hips parallel to the ground. Drop that arm and then row. And as you squeeze your elbow up and back behind you, take note of what muscles are working in your body. Yes, you're using your rhomboids and your traps to bring your shoulder blade back towards your spine, but you're also getting a little bit of tricep action in here in the back of your arm. So just notice what's working, what's not. If you start to lock out too much through your knee and elbow, just bring a little bit of ease in there and remember to breathe. So ideally, you want to exhale as you bring that weight up and then inhale as you bring it down. But frankly, as long as you're breathing, just focus on keeping the oxygen coming in and out. Cool, so that is your bent over row. The next one we're going to do is a fly. Now, for this exercise, you might have to go down in weight a little bit. You don't want to overexert yourself. It's really easy to injure yourself doing a fly, so we want to keep it nice and easy. If you need to weight down for that, totally fine to do so, or grab a lighter bottle. You want a little bit of a bend through your elbow, and then you're reaching that arm out to the side and then back down. Now, as you reach your arm out to the side, you want to be mindful that you're not just bringing your elbow out and keeping your weight down towards the ground. You really want to keep the elbow at the same angle the entire time as you reach the weight out and then back down. Now, the other thing that can happen with this, especially if the weight is too heavy, is you can start bringing momentum in to do that. Momentum isn't going to build stability in the body. We really want to focus on good form. As you're capable of moving heavier weight, then sure, you can use a little bit more momentum, but to begin with, just focus on being able to move the weight with your actual strength. And then again, switch to the opposite side. Hand down, gentle bend in the elbow, squeeze through your abs, keep your head neutral, and then reach the weight out to the side and then back down. And start to notice, are you having to brace through your abs a little bit more as you stabilize here? Just take note of what's working in your body. Cool. Final movement we're going to do is tricep extension. So again, we're working on the back side of the body. So even though this is for the arms, it should still feel like you're using your postural muscles, drawing your shoulder blades down and back and keeping your abs engaged. That's going to keep your low back strong. So for this, come back down into that bent over position, squeeze strong through your abs, shoulders down and away from your ears, little bit of retraction of your head. And then you're going to start with your elbow locked in next to your rib cage, elbow bent to 90, and then extend the arm up and back behind you, and then bend. Extend and bend. So with this, you really want to try and keep it slow as you bring the weight down next to you. Try not to just swing it up and down. You want to focus on feeling the work of the back side of your arm as you reach back and then to 90. And again, after you've done about 8 reps, you want to switch to the opposite side. Starting with your shoulders squared off, elbow locked in next to your rib cage, easy in that knee and elbow, and then extend and bend. Again, on your exhale, reaching the weight back behind you, inhale, bend, but as long as you're keeping some oxygen moving, that's really what I care about most. Awesome, so 8 on each side, or if you're going for heavier weights, maybe you can't quite get to 8, that's okay. Or if you don't have anything quite to your maximum weight, it's okay to go heavier, more in your reps. That's totally fine as well. You'll reach better endurance with that. If you have questions, then please feel free to reach out. And if you need help with your healthcare or your chiropractic care, then please visit me at Electra Chiropractic in Tokyo.